What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your economic update for June 23rd. So today I want to discuss a few things. First, we're going to talk about the new jobless numbers, because the jobless numbers are scary, but not for the reason that you're thinking. Many economists believe the only way to get out of inflation, to see it come down, is to see our unemployment rate go up. I want to explain why this is so important and how far away we actually are. We're also going to touch on the possibility of a potential world war and World War III. One country, one leader says we are already there. I want to address why this is and why more and more people in the media are now starting to talk about this. Again, these are things that are just starting to come out, so I want to fill you in on what's going on there. We are also going to touch on President Biden's request yesterday to have Congress pass a bill to provide a federal gas tax holiday. This doesn't have the support that it needs, but I want to address who doesn't support this and why they don't. So again, this is what we're going to talk about in today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. So let's get right down to it. So today, this is very important. Our new jobless claims came out. And the reason we need to talk about this is simply because we are still not seeing what many economists need to see. Too many people are employed. Okay? We're not seeing many new unemployed people, and this is the problem. In order to bring down inflation, we need to see more people lose their jobs. Yes, you heard that right. In order to bring down inflation, more people have to lose their jobs. But why? Why is this? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Right now, according to multiple reports, there's too much upward pressure on wages. And when unemployment is so low and people are looking for work, guess what? There's so many jobs open right now. So many jobs. Okay? According to reports, for every one unemployed person, there's 2 open positions. Yeah. For every one unemployed people, there's 2 open positions. And economists believe that in order to experience disinflation, we need to have at least 250,000 people file for new jobless claims each week. That's 1 million people per month. That's quite a bit, right? Well, here's where we're at. Just today, our new jobless claim numbers came out, and we saw 229,000 people file for unemployment last week. These are new claims. But economists believe, nope, that's not good enough. We at least need to be at 250,000 people every single week, and this would have to go on for likely 6 months. 6 months. Now, think about that. We are already at 229, so let's just say 230,000. We need an additional 20,000 people, okay? Or let's say 80,000 people over the course of a month, okay? Times 6 months. That's bringing in less than 1 million. There are less than 500,000 people. Additionally, that's not enough. So even though economists believe 250,000 is the number, that's not even close. Others say, no, we need to be closer to 500,000 people. 500,000 people per week. That would be scary, because that's what we saw back when the pandemic was here, right? In early 2020, we saw just millions of people, right? That's what we need to see. Now again, in 2020 and 2021, it was a different time. Many tech companies, they hired too quickly, they grew too fast, and so now they're starting to lay off employees. But in some cases, it's not quick enough. Now, the housing industry, due to interest rates, they are starting to lay off employees as well and reduce their workforce. But others say that's not big enough. We need to see more. But again, here's where things get very serious. There's around 11 million open positions. Like I said, there is almost 2 open positions for every 1 person that's unemployed. And yet economists believe that the only way to get away from high inflation is to increase unemployment. Because right now, the amount of employment that we have is putting too much upward pressure on wages. So one of two things has to happen. And I want to be very clear on this, because this will affect all of us. There's two things that can happen. The Fed raises rates so fast that it pushes our economy into a recession. Then we get higher unemployment, which causes wages or wage growth to slow or completely stop, right? That's option one. Option two is we continue on the path that we're on. We see slow interest rate hikes. We continue to experience high inflation, and eventually something has to happen, but this could be 6 months to 2 years down the line. So as you can imagine, only one of these things is going to happen. And it's likely going to be that the Fed will have to raise rates faster than expected, almost push our entire economy into a recession. But if they do this, experts say it has to happen quickly. So we could see that within the summer months, we are in a recession. We could see that the Federal Reserve decides, you know what, it's not working. Inflation just keeps going up. So we're just going to hike rates by 2%, 200 basis points, right? We could see that. Would that slow inflation? Yes. Would that bring us down to 2%? No. And that's the problem, is that in order to get away from high inflation, we have to see higher unemployment. So, like I've been telling you guys before, if you are still in debt, if you don't have an emergency fund, okay, you don't have even a little bit of investments or a second income, I'd recommend you get those things. Figure out a way, get those things, because the most likely outcome is we dip into a recession, and according to many economists, it will be very mild, but it will be lengthy. That's what they're expecting at this time. So just make sure you're prepared for that. Now, something that came out yesterday, and I addressed this yesterday morning, was President Biden was going to urge Congress to pass a federal gas tax holiday. Now, will this happen? Well, after he announced it, and again, I did the video yesterday morning before he even announced it, but after he announced it, there were some comments made. First off, Republicans don't like this idea. They are not going to vote for it. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, Senator Joe Manchin doesn't support this. He doesn't support a gas tax holiday. So he'd be number 50. He would be number 50 for the Senate Democrats. The problem is they need 60 votes in the Senate to get this passed. And the other thing is Nancy Pelosi did not commit to passing this. She didn't even commit to having a vote on this. So we're going to see what happens there, but just to give you a quick little answer, will we see a federal gas tax holiday? At this point in time, I would say no, that this will not happen because there's not enough support. Now, I want to touch on one other story or one other comment that I got yesterday. And this comment was, is the United States setting us up for a potential world war? Now, I've read different articles over the past really 6 months that are indicative of a potential war with certain countries, but just not enough. Now, this question was fairly open-ended. So in order to figure out what this community member was asking, okay, we had to go back and forth. And so the reason why they asked this is pretty simple. Now, here's what they're saying. And here's based on my research as well. According to multiple government officials and reporters from other countries, the U.S. has troops in places like Yemen, Syria, and Somalia. But why? Why are we there? What are we doing? Well, according to multiple world leaders, they believe that the United States is only in these places, as well as others. The United States has troops all over the place, right? Different bases all over. But according to world leaders, the reason why we're here is due to the fact that these countries are rich in precious metals and oil. And the United States is there to ensure that no other country gets their hands on these unless the United States says so. But according to the Pentagon, we are only there to protect these countries. Well, it's interesting because just to protect the countries, right? It seems like we're there to protect the assets, the minerals, the oil, the products. That's why we're there. But this also has many experts believing that we're actually setting ourselves up for a world war. It's taking a little bit of time, but they believe we're setting ourselves up for another world war, which would be World War III. Even Russia the other day, they believe we are already there. We're already in a world war. But the truth is this: the entire world is trying to get their hands on precious metals like nickel, uranium, copper, lithium is a big one, right? This is for electric vehicles, even oil. But lithium is huge. Lithium and oil, big. They're massive. And I say this because oil help us run our cars, right? Our gas-powered cars. Lithium helps us run our battery-powered cars, our electric vehicles. Big difference, okay? So this is going to be the struggle, and this is going to be the problem: is who is going to get their hands on the lithium and the oil and nickel and the uranium, copper, all those things, right? Who is going to get that? We don't know. But if the United States is putting troops on those countries to protect those assets, this is where some are saying this would lead us into the next World War, World War III. So just wanted to fill you in on that because I know I got that question the other day. Thought, you know what, that is a very important thing to discuss, because yes, I have been seeing different articles, some mainstream media outlets talking about specific locations, but not really putting the whole thing together. So hopefully it's kind of opened your eyes on as to what is going on in the world right now. But yes, the United States is sending troops around the world to protect different assets, which, according to many, this is going to cause the next World War. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but you guys can make that decision on your own. So that's what we know this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.